Stitch Cuties, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and in this video tutorial, we are going to make our Raindrops in House Block 4 for our Happy Place Block of the Month, and this tutorial is for those of you who are using your sewing machine to complete the applique. If you're using your embroidery machine, I have a video tutorial for you as well. So per usual, you are going to read through your pattern so you know everything we're about to do. We're going to start with numbering our applique pieces in the video. So let's get to it. We are going to prep our pieces together. Let me open up my placement guide. And this block is a little bit different than the ones we've prepped before because if you remember, I think for all of them, maybe even the snowman on the first one too, the house is numbers 1 through 5. In this one, however, we're putting down our rain clouds or raindrops in the little green patch of grass before we put down the house. So it really doesn't affect anything. It's just kind of fun. Numbers are different. Got to pay attention. And so, as usual, we're going to start numbering our pieces. I like to use the reverse side. So let me pull that where y'all can see it. So our chimney, number 11. Remember, normally it's number 1. Then we have our green heart. Isn't that a cute green? I think it's moss green. I love that. Then we have all of our raindrops. These are numbers 3 through 10. They're all exactly the same. How nice is that? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have all of those numbered. I'll trim them free from their little square that they're in just a second. With small pieces, sometimes I wait and do that at the end after I've numbered everything. Now with the cloud, I am going to do, blah, blah, it's reversed. That's how it fits. So when I have it like this, I know that that's going to be up over here. I do like to give myself just a little arrow when I'm doing a piece that maybe is like a flower, has little ridges, just so I know that that's going to go up. It's a very silly trick, but it's very helpful on some pieces. Like on our Loads of Fun, there's a lot of blocks that have all these flowers that are the same, but they're turned different. So if you give yourself an arrow here, you don't have to like spin your flowers around or spin your piece around on your actual block. So here is number 2. This is our earth, our land, if you will. And then number 12. So if you remember, our house is 11 through 15. So I'm going to organize those pieces. So we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is the second applique unit that we build. And then the first thing that we have is our little raindrops and everything. And did I have you build this unit? I think we just ironed it on the background. Let me see what I'm saying. Yeah, build applique unit 11 through 15. Then everything else we're going to put just on the background. Because in theory, if you take a look, I'll just explain applique units. You could, in theory, put number 3, 4, and 5 on this, but there's such little easy pieces to place. You can do that on your placement guide. So our little house and raindrops, or I'm sorry, our cloud, the earth and the raindrops I'm going to set aside. Again, I'm going to trim these raindrops only at the last second when I actually need them. So you know the perfect stack by now. My light pad, my glass mat, my pattern, and then my fusing mat. There we go. Let's get that nice and straight in the view for you. So we're going to build our house unit. We're building so many houses together, you and I. Every month, building a house. I would say this is much easier than building a house in real life. I've never built a house from scratch. I've remodeled. We kind of did 2 remodels on our current house, like 2 phases. That's so much work. It's so much fun, but it's so much work. But I did watch Mom build one house when I was in 3rd grade, and then the second house she built, I was away at college, so I didn't have to go through that, but I know it's like constant work. So these are much easier to build. My iron went off. Much easier than having to build a real house. And then on the orange, if you have a hard time, well, let me zap my pieces together. I'm talking so much. If you, like on a dark print, I'm pretty sure I'm seeing the line, but I'm just going to check myself. And all I'm going to do, let me push up where you can see the bottom. I'm pretty sure I'm in the placement, but all you have to do is just lift and then just make sure, and sure enough, I'm right in place. But that's a little trick when you're working with a dark color. And now we're going to put our heart in place. And And again, if you want to lift up your little house, you certainly can, just to make sure you're getting that heart where it belongs. So now, bloop, house unit ready to go. That was pieces 11 through 15. Now we're done with our fusing mat, and we are going to use our background fabric. And again, why am I not pressing before I'm starting filming? I apologize, because I do recommend that you start your fabric getting good and pressed before you're appliquing. So it's one of those things, or do as I say, not as I do. Sorry. I should have that nice and pressed, and there's a few little wrinkles left. I apologize. It's good enough for the demonstration, right? And then we're just going to make sure that it is over. Am I in the view? There you go. You want to make sure your fabric is hanging off all four sides. Again, we're going to trim it down so you have more fabric than you need. Now we're going to start. What's number one? Oh, my cloud. We're going to start with our cloud. I don't know why I've really been wanting to make this block so much. It's just so cute. So the thought behind this block, it's block 4, which in theory would coincide with like maybe the month of April, if you will, is April showers bring May flowers. So this block 4 is this cute little house with the rain clouds, very Florida-ish, if you will, because it rains all the time here. And then block 5 is a flower, big old tulip. It's adorable. So that's the little thought behind the design on these 2 blocks. So now we're going to put our little ground down. And again, there's no direction to this fabric, so it's just if you like a direction better of your dots, you can. We're going to put that right in place. And this lines up right at the bottom of your line. So you want to make sure you're good and straight, because when you go to trim your block, you want that to be a nice 90-degree angle with your block that you're trimming right there. And now the infamous raindrops. I'm going to trim them now. So if you can see, they each have just like a little bitty piece holding them. And that is so when you get your piece in the mail, you're not like, I lost a raindrop. So it's much easier to have them, and all you do is snip them free, if you will. Also, on behalf of our entire team, I'm sure they're grateful they're not counting to 7 or 8 raindrops, or however many raindrops it is on every single kit. A long time ago, back in the day, at the time of filming this, it's now 12 years ago, when we started our company, and one of our first really popular products were mug rugs, specifically Christmas ones, and a lot of the designs had holly with 3 berries. And we were crazy, y'all. They were 1/4-inch little berries. And there were 3 in every kit, and we were crazy. We would count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the poor lasers were cutting just like bananas amounts of little red circles. It was really, now I'm looking back, kind of a nightmare, but it was also really funny. You learn, right? Okay, so now we're going to start. And it doesn't matter which order really that you put your raindrops on, right? Technically, they're numbered, and it starts 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're not overlapping or underlapping, so it doesn't matter which one you put where. Again, they're all the same raindrop. So I'm just going to start putting a few in place, and then I'll tap them with the iron as I go. Let's see. With little pieces, always make sure, by the way, that you're putting the fusible side down. I saw something. What did the lady iron? It was not a project from us. It was a lady working on something she was designing. And, it looked like little chicken feet to me. And when she was ironing it to fabric, but she accidentally put her traced fusible the wrong direction. And so it ironed right to the bottom of her iron, which is not a fun thing to clean, I must say. And it's so frustrating when you do that. But I got a chuckle only because I've done it before. So that's why a lot of times when I remember, I warn you. Yeah. Alrighty. So we're getting there. I'm going to go on and give these a little press, just because I'm getting a little brave here with a bunch. Bloop. There you go. And again, you only need to heat them for a few seconds. The fusible that we use is Sulky Perfect Applique Fusible, and it's just delightful. It is so lightweight that you don't have bulk in your projects, which is really incredible, especially if you think about a quilt like this. Look how much applique there is on it. Now I'm going to tell you, I can't see through my grass, and I'm not checking if I'm putting these 2 raindrops in the right place, but I'm looking at the pattern. They're like midway through the grass. So this is where mine are going to be. You can put yours where you want. I'm being a rebel without a cause. Okay, so there we go. Raindrops complete. And now we simply plop our house into place. And again, it's going to line up perfectly at the bottom with your grass. And so it's going to overlap right here on top of your cloud. And then, of course, it overlaps on your grass. So I'm going to iron those spots first. And you can tell I don't pull my iron. I lift it and move it. Because if you pull it, you might pull your piece. You don't want to do that. Okay, I pulled it right there. Okay, there we go. We did it. So let's talk about the super cute thread colors that we're going to use. We are going to, of course, when you stitch, you'll put your stabilizer underneath. Very handy. It stabilizes your stitches. And from your thread kit, we have some colors we haven't used yet, or maybe we used this blue in block 1. I can't remember. But we have the 1292 Heron Blue is going to be all of your raindrops, and it's also your cloud. Then Avocado, we used that last month, the light green. That is your grass and the heart on your door. Then we have Dark Brown, shocker, that's your chimney. And then Pumpkin Pie, the orange, it's such a fun color. That is the rest of your house. So your door, your actual house, and the roof of the house. And as always, the tip for trimming is once everything's stitched, use your placement guide and your handy dandy ruler. It's going to line up. By the way, this month it's very easy to line up. You really, actually for this month, don't need to mark where you're going to trim because you're going to line this ruler up at the bottom right of this grass. That's going to give you the perfect bloop, bloop, 90-degree angle right here, flat all the way across the bottom right here. So really you don't even need to use the placement guide to help trim this month. So that's it. Look at our cute block. I love it. It's adorable. So I hope you enjoyed making block 4 of your Happy Place block of the month. Next up will be block 5, the flowers that came from these April showers.